All right, I had a few people request a kind of a tutorial and breakdown of my live looping performance setup here in the studio. So I wanted to give you a quick rundown of the hardware ins and outs, and then we'll get into the Ableton template. So front and center, we have the Push 3. It's kind of the main controller I use. I've got the Roland Phantom 08, which is my main keyboard and MIDI controller. I've got the Soma Cosmos running as a hardware send effect in Ableton, so running directly into the Focusrite 8i6. Then I've got my two hardware synths, the Dreadbox Typhon and the Behringer Pro 800. Both of these are running in mono directly to the Focusrite. And I've got the Roland SP404 Mark II, also in and out going into the Push. So I use the Push inputs and outputs so I can have the SP as a hardware send effect as well. On the keyboard, I've got these faders and knobs mapped to my percussion channel in the Ableton template. You'll see that once I get to the template. And then also I use these pads. They can trigger different clips in the Ableton template as I'm performing. And then with the JBLs, I've also got the sub down here. And for feet, I've got an expression pedal, which plugs into the Phantom, a foot switch, which is plugged into input 2 right here on the Push. And I can use that to trigger recording clips and launching clips. And then a sustain pedal that's plugged directly into the Phantom as well. So that is kind of the, oh yes, I forgot the mic and electric guitar, both going into the front inputs on the Focusrite. So yeah, that's the general setup. Now let's get into the actual template and do a little jam. Okay, so we are here in the template. Let me start, I guess, from left to right. I've got my piano group. And if we open that up, I've got two pianos. I've got a piano felt. Oh, I can't hear myself. Let me turn this up so I can hear. Then I've got the piano pure. Make sure I'm still recording my mic here. So yeah, two pianos, one a little bit brighter and one not so bright. Then we go to our bass group. I've got my Typhon, which I showed you earlier, a Moog recreation using the Mini Moog from Arturia. So let's pop in the Typhon real quick. Oh, let me not have the piano going at the same time. Then the Moog. Sweet. And then just a kind of a basic respace. Sweet as well. Okay, moving on. ARP group. So I use a lot of ARPs in my music. So I've got an ARP group because I like it. Just got a real basic. Oh, I'm not recording anymore. Okay, so I've got a basic saw ARP here. It's basically just like a monophonic sawtooth real basic, using the Legend HZ. And then I've got one I call Beauty, another from the Legend HZ, and this one is a one that you actually just hold down. And I really, really love the sound of this thing. Mod wheel can brighten it up a little bit. This is a song starter for a lot of my tracks. Okay. Then we go on over to my synth group, which I've got my Pro 800. I've got just a basic super saw using Ableton stock devices, and then 2 leads, a creep lead, which sounds like this. Sweet. And then a JP lead, JP 8000 from Arturia. So really just kind of basic building blocks, so I can, I've got all these sends that I'll explain in a little bit, but I try and just pick, sounds that sound good with each other and I can manipulate when I'm playing. Next we've got a pad group. I also use a lot of pads. So let's see, breath is like a horn pad, sounds like this. No, it doesn't. Get out of here. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this manually arming tracks. I'll show you how I do that with the push. All right, breath sounds like this. Real basic. Oh no, yeah, that was the breath pad. Horn pad, what does this sound like? Oh yeah, this is a really nice mellow, again, like intro or a break doing this pad. Yeah. And then I've got the SP404, which I showed you earlier. I hope I don't get too many hate comments because I basically just use the SP for just playing samples back, like unquantized, so I can kind of just keep it going. If I adjust the tempo of my song, like in the middle of a performance, the pads just kind of stay, doing their thing. I guess I can show you a close-up of it, maybe if I record separately, but if you don't know, the SP44 has banks like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to J. And I have the A bank with a bunch of A pads that are in the key of A minor. Same with F and same with G, because those are common keys that I play in. And then I've got some effects, just like bird sounds and stuff on H. So let's play that. Bird sounds. And then if we go over to F, so another just kind of thing to start off with. And then what I would do here, let's just do a little practice jam with this situation. I'm going to turn my mic off so I can play. I don't think I can talk and play at the same time, but I've got some pads going on the SP, some birds chirping, and let's play some piano.
Keep adding some more stuff to it. Find the tempo. I can use the foot pedal on my left foot to record clips. You can see this one's highlighted here. So yeah. So yeah, that's kind of a breakdown of a live performance. I didn't use the Cosmos there. I didn't use the Pro 800, but maybe I can do some other more in-depth videos if people like this kind of stuff. So thanks for watching. Peace.